Lopez exited the vehicle, only made it a short amount of distance before he decided to engage officers. And thankfully for the swift action of those officers, they were able to take Lopez into custody. I know that a bolo went out across the state, and so they were certainly cognizant of South Texas and the San Antonio area because he had previous contact. And it's our understanding that law enforcement spotted that vehicle on a roadway, and the license plate matched the bolo, and so that's when they began to tail Lopez in that vehicle. Ultimately, that vehicle was spiked after a short chase in which Lopez crashed and decided to engage law enforcement officers, and those officers very swiftly shot and killed Lopez, bringing this whole ordeal to an end.
What weapons did he fire? I know he had multiple weapons, but did he use all of them?
I don't know specifically what weapons he used, but I was armed with a rifle and a handgun.
Where does the investigation go from here now that he's deceased?
Sure, so it's something that the Texas Rangers will be leading up that investigation, along with our Office of Inspector General, who will be closely involved in that investigation.
And were you guys able to find any of the clothes when you left with us?
I can tell you that they're still at the scene at this moment. So Lopez is deceased. Law enforcement is there. They're processing that scene as we speak, and so there's some information that I just don't have at the moment. I do want to take a moment, though, and really thank law enforcement. Leon has been extraordinary and continues to be. Our partners at DPS, the Office of Inspector General, U.S. Marshals, just so many different law enforcement agencies contributed to this, and just very thankful for all of the support that they have provided. Thankful that this came to a resolution in which Lopez did not harm anyone else.
As a leader, what's your reaction that this man is off the streets?
I could just tell you that we are very saddened that the murders happened, but I will tell you that sigh of relief that Lopez will not be able to hurt anyone else.
Will TDCJ be adjusting their protocols to ensure that nothing like this happens again?
As I said earlier, we will conduct a serious incident review. Anytime you have something serious like this, it's incumbent upon us to go backwards to figure out how did he beat our security protocols in order to leave that transport vehicle. And so that's something that we absolutely will be doing. We will uncover how he did it and then make any adjustments that are necessary.
He's obviously not your typical dangerous inmate because, I mean, he do it like years ago, right? I mean, there's something about him, right, that makes him very unique when it comes to the situation.
Absolutely. Gonzalo Lopez had a history of trying to elude law enforcement. And so we knew from his records that previously he had stayed out in the wilderness for quite some time. And so that's why we remained in this area, because we did not have evidence that put him out of this area. I will tell you that obviously U.S. Marshals and Texas Rangers and our Office of Inspector General were closely monitoring any contacts that he had ever had in the free world to see if he had reached out to them. And that was very unsuccessful. And so we still had a thought that he could be in this area, and that's why we continue to have a presence in this area. And it wasn't until this afternoon that it became clear that he remained in this area.
Jason, did the victims, did the victims walk in on Lopez?
Frankly, it's just too early to tell. We do believe that the victims were there today. It's unclear whether Lopez was already there or was casing the structure and just waiting for someone to come in.
What's the feeling now that this is over? It was for a few weeks there. Are you guys relieved? Just kind of, what's that feeling?
I will just, again, it is... I will say that this is an absolute tragedy. Individuals. I would say that this is a tragedy that you had 5 individuals who lost their lives. And so I am thankful that tonight Gonzalo Lopez is unable to harm anyone else.
Do you know if ability do you think TCJ has had leading to the deaths of these 5 people then, and if he was able to escape?
Sure. You know, as I said earlier, that will be part of us going backwards to determine how that escape happened, and taking any precautions in order to prevent that from happening in the future.
Obviously, this is a tragedy. Do you have any words to say to the family?
I don't. I can't imagine the grief and suffering that they're going through, and so my words would fall flat.
Have they been contacted?
Expect those IDs?
That would be something I'd encourage you to talk to Leon County Sheriff. Obviously, this has happened in their jurisdiction. They're working closely with DPS in order to process that crime scene. So I would expect that the sheriff likely would release that information and not TDCJ.
What are some things that CJ possibly learned, and could we see that you all move to the inmate who has been on the run for 11 years now and kind of exhaust the efforts that were on this one for Lopez to try to find that inmate?
I assume you're talking about Busto Diaz.
Yes, sir.
So, and I'll just speak to that. It's something that we don't ever stop. And even for Busto Diaz, who we believe is in Mexico, and that we'll continue to search for forever. Thank you.